Hello, hi, this is Glenn from CTFairBet. I have not spoken to you in a while, so got the timer for 10 minutes. I know a lot of people got to get back to break. So I've received an overabundance of emails pertaining to Mark leaving, getting fired, what have you. So I just want to address a couple things real fast. And first things first, Mark, when we first opened the place up in '96, I was never on your game for one specific reason. I requested it because your abuse of power as a dealer was appalling. I never floored with you. I was never, you were always beneath me until you got your lucky DNA card that gave you all the promotions, even though you did not deserve them. And you're the only tribal member I know who abused his power. Just think about it, Mark. So many of the emails I got were from people you harmed, and how many people you did ugly. And just out of curiosity, it was blatant how the few people you took care of in front of everybody, same games, same time starts, weekends off, whatever they want, they got. And as a good manager, if you can't do for all, you don't do for a few. You have to manage accordingly. But just out of curiosity, all these people you took care of, Mark, are any of them paying your bills? Just out of curiosity. I know you got money. You got your stipend from work, from being a tribal member. But just all your good buddies, excuse me. See how many of them are going to pay a bill. They're not. So hopefully next time you get a job of authority, you're a young guy, and you will be back to work again somewhere. Just don't abuse you being a tribal member or Native American, because eventually it's going to show that you're abusive. And I'm just going down the line here. I have so much to get into, and I just want to keep it short. So I have a couple funny stories for you. You told people, allegedly, that you quit because you couldn't take the bullshit. Well, a guy to your authority, making the kind of money you make, so underqualified for the job. But since you were tribal, you thought you can do whatever you want. So you and I both know that is sexual harassment. And you probably quit with a shotgun to your back because they weren't going to take... I'm sure they wrote it up as you quit or a policy, because the tribal government isn't going to fire you with sexual harassment, and then a day tomorrow one of those girls decide to come after you. Oh, he got fired for sexual harassment. So you and I both know you didn't quit. You got pushed, shoved. And it brings me to a funny story as far as BS. When I worked in Vicksburg, Mississippi, we had a sheriff there named Paul Barrett, I think. And he was a legend there. And the legend goes that he fished a body out of the mighty Mississippi River, and the guy had 30 stab wounds in the back. Paul Barrett wrote it up as the worst case of suicide I've ever seen. And supposedly that's a true story. And that goes along the same line as you quitting such a great job at one of the top casinos in the world. And I always hear that people in management say industry standards. And again, when you say that, it just goes to show you what amateurs you are. Because Mohican Sun is like being on steroids. You book bets nobody else books. You get players nobody else gets. You know, so it's not industry standards. You know, if you take your table limits down to $1,000 on blackjack, $3,000 on baccarat, you know, $10 anyway to the number, then you're every other casino. But you guys are a whole different thing. Okay. Another quick story pertaining to you having your job. And I may have said this before in other videos, but a player one time in Pit 1, before Sky was open, a shift manager came over on day shift. She has since been fired a long time ago. She was insane. And she came over and ruled on something on a player that she was just so out of line. It was like a 65-year-old guy, Brooks Brothers suit, conservative watch, conservative shoes, you know, it looked like a lawyer just getting ready to go to court, and that had money. She came over there and made a horrible call, and he colored up and he said, I know how you got the job. Let's see if that will keep you in the job. Same thing with you, Mark. You know how you got the job. Let's see if it would keep you. You could keep the job, because you're just so blatant, so rude. And the only time we saw you on swing shift, when somebody got caught stealing, or there was going to be terminations, like you got off on that. Let me see. And just in closing with, I have another story too. A buddy of mine, Bobby, was flooring in Pit 21. 2 crap tables. A player came over, excuse me. A player came over and said that he wanted to play craps at a lower level, and he couldn't, and also the game was reserved, whatever. Just so then a host comes by and he talked to, the player talked to a host. And next thing you know, Bobby gets tapped off a game. He has to go talk to Mark. So he picks up the phone. He goes, "Hi, this is Bobby." And Mark starts yelling at Bobby saying, "Why were you so rude to the host? Do you realize she's my cousin?" Now, this is Mark Cloutier sitting home in his tighty whities, calling up Bobby, the floor person, and yelling at him for just enforcing the policy, just arena supervisor. But even from home, you were a bully. And I understand it's the casino, and I've seen tough guys like you all the time in the casino. But if I saw you in a bar, or if I saw you in the mall, I'm sure you would go the other way. Because common sense and fear goes a long way. So, Mark, in closing pertaining to you, you know, you have to make, and this is like I'm your grandfather. You have to say you're sorry to a bunch of people, do an act of atonement to people, try to right all the wrongs you did. And I would love to know which one of these people you took care of is paying any of your bills, or if they're still your pal now, even though you don't have the job. So in closing, Mark, say you're sorry. A lot and often, eat some humble pie. I'm a 57-year-old man, and one thing time has showed me, especially about this country, is if you say you're sorry, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Trust me, I made more mistakes than any 100 people. But I've learned from them. So now, Mark, that was my discussion towards you. And folks, all of you that send me emails, a couple phone calls, you know, I hope this addressed the Mark Cloutier situation. And if it didn't, just send me another email. I plan on doing 1 or 2 more emails, but because I was really trying to shut this down, because I really don't have the time or the effort to do this. Now, I want to talk about another director of table games, Trevor Newman. Trevor, you already know how I feel about you. I got sick in the office, got taken out in an ambulance, and you left me to die on the floor. I was 205 over 160, my blood pressure. But, you know, it is what it is. So, I got a email from a couple of dealers saying that you took the you took the chairs out of the crap tables. And the next day you had to put them in after you took them out. Because first of all, you don't have craps. And you got craps like I got roulette. And you had to put the chairs back. And this isn't, 40 years ago where you can get away with doing such moronic things. With the proliferation of gaming, every state, you gotta bring your A game. All right, first things first. 8 decks are used everywhere but 27, 21, and 36. Let me ask you, if you're a blackjack player, would you play here? No. I don't want to see 8 decks when I'm playing. Pit 4 has $25 games, and they don't lower them. There can be 6, 8 dead blackjack games, and they're never lowered. I mean, come on, guys. Now you got competition. You could have did that when we first opened up and got away with it. Now you got people knocking on your door. This is the last time. You shouldn't get strict now. Now you got to give away the store to retain the players you have. Because eventually gaming is going to head south of you. Then what you're going to do. And then you still got Wind and other properties opening. The new one in Tipperton, whatever it's called. And also there's been a lot of crap dealers that are up in 36th floor, and the shift manager or the pit boss doesn't even have craps. Come on, guys. What jurisdiction would allow that? So, also, stealing. Since you loosened things up so far, I guess in the last couple weeks, 2 floor and about 6 to 8 dealers got fired for stealing. That's because that's industry standards. So, I'm going to post this memo. It's from Trevor. And, again, I'll go through it quickly. Starting as of June 4th, we're going to implement the following blackjack pricing strategies. Pit 2, 3, 9, 25, 41, 42 will stay at 10 o'clock. $10 games till further notice. You're not allowed to drop them. Pit 4 and 28 will never go below $25, but may go up as business dictated. Pit 5, 24, 26 will never go below $15. This is a good time to do this too, guys. Pit 11 and 22 will never go below $50, or may go up based upon business. Pit 21 will never go below $100 unless business dictates. Pit 27 will never go below $500. Pit 36 will never go below $500. So in closing, Trevor, this memo is moronic. You guys are fighting over business now. When we first opened, maybe you could have done this. But you're embarrassing the floor people. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the tribe by implementing this blackjack strategy. Now people are eating out of your pie. You need to, and I heard no grandfather anymore when the games go up. It's insane. But everyone, in closing, I'm definitely doing one more video, maybe another one. I understand a dear friend of mine who I've known since Atlantic City when we worked at Showboat together was disrespected. And I'm going to address this one on the next video because I can't believe, you did this guy so ugly. But everyone, I miss you. And the ones who don't like me, care less. Everybody, keep your hands up. And I will see you soon. Take care.